Hey, what's up guys? Today I'll be doing a review on the Superare X Rocky lace-up boxing gloves. So stay tuned. Hey, what's up guys? Carlo here. Today I'm doing a review on the Superare X Rocky lace-up boxing gloves. Comes in this beautiful all red with contrasting white colorway. I got mine in 16 ounces in lace-up. You can also get this glove in Velcro, anywhere between 10 and 16 ounces. It's made of 100% grade A, what they describe as buffalo leather with layered foam padding over the knuckle area that has a firm density that's going to take a little bit of time to break in. And I believe the gloves are manufactured in Pakistan. Now, from a design standpoint, Superare says that this glove was inspired and kind of modeled after the tough wear gloves that Rocky Balboa was wearing in the Rocky 3 film. So that's kind of where they got the inspiration and aesthetic look for this glove from. When you're looking at the glove itself from a design standpoint, for being a 16-ounce glove, I'd say it's right there where it needs to be in terms of size and profile, in terms of width and height of the glove. It's not overly huge, it's not a super compact glove. So in terms of profile sizing, I'd say it's pretty much right on point with what you would see with most average sized 16-ounce glove. The leather on here has more of a satin finish to it throughout the entire leather. It feels very nice, high quality. You'll also notice that it has, although a classic old school look to it, there's a couple of small little features that I do like that has a little bit of extra detail when you look close enough. You'll notice that right here, closer to the thumb side of the glove, you actually have Rocky with his hands raised, embossed right here. So that's obviously a kind of a legendary look that Rocky did during the films when he was running up the stairs and he was raising his hands in celebration up there on the stairs in Philadelphia. So you have that in Philly. So that's embossed. And you come to the wrist support. It says Rocky by Superare. It is a cloth patch. Down here at the bottom, again, just more of a simplistic classic look. Coming down to the wrist support, there's a very, very big emphasis on wrist support with this glove. It's almost kind of pillowy. This is, I would say, almost 2 inches, maybe 1.5 inches to 2 inch thickness of, I'd say about medium to soft density foam padding, but it's very comfortable. And again, the best way I would describe it, it feels very pillowy. You rotate it to the other side, and again, you have about 1 inch of that same pillowy padding on the inside. Comes up to right about here, as well as on that side as well. The next thing you'll notice is the liner. I love the liner they use on here. It has a very smooth, silky feel to it. It almost feels cool when you slide your hand into it. It doesn't feel hot, but it definitely has a cool feeling. And then the color on here is kind of a cream color, like a pearly cream. So again, a lot of the old school gloves you see from back in the 80s and even the 70s used kind of that older style cream colored liner on the inside. It's not up until recently that you started seeing more gloves use that darker liner. It's just kind of the common liner color that they use, but they went with that old school lighter cream colored liner on the inside, which I could definitely appreciate. And again, it kind of goes with the aesthetic look of this glove. You do have pretty long flat laces with plastic tips at the end. I wish they were just a tad bit longer. They'd get a couple more revolutions around the glove. I wouldn't say that they're extremely short, but I feel they can definitely be longer when it comes to laces. Right here, again, more embossing on the outside of the glove. Says Rocky X Superare right there. You also have white piping around the thumb, white piping on the inside, and you have a really nice thick solid grip bar at the top. Right underneath the grip bar, it also has a quote, a famous quote from the Rocky movie from his trainer. There is no tomorrow, which he was actually, no, that was from Apollo Creed, where he would say there is no tomorrow. And that was a part of the movie when I think it was Rocky 4? I want to say it was Rocky 4. Maybe it was Rocky 3, but the part where they were training and basically Rocky was like, no, I'm done for the day. I'm just going to go home. We'll just try it again tomorrow. And Apollo said to him, no, there is no tomorrow. Basically the mentality of never giving up.
Damn, Ron, come on! What's the matter with you?
Tomorrow. Let's do it tomorrow.
There is no tomorrow! There is no tomorrow! There is no tomorrow!
And I think at that moment in time, Rocky mentally had given up on himself during that moment in time when they were training, and Apollo was basically yelling at him to tell him not to give up. There is no tomorrow, because essentially that's the state of mind that you're in when you're in a fight, that it's do or die at that moment in time. There is no such thing as tomorrow for that fight. Everything is there and then, you have to handle it at that point in time. So that was kind of the whole moniker and the quote behind there is no tomorrow. So you have that there, a leather attached thumb, and that's pretty much it. Other than that, the glove is very simple looking, very clean, and again is a tribute to the old school, that tough wear glove that they were using in the Rocky 3 movie. Quality wise, the glove is really nice. I'll say that the leather on here definitely feels top of the line, really nice and thick and durable. I haven't had any issues with durability. You'll notice that the stitching looks really clean throughout. On the inside, you have the ventilated holes. One thing that would have been nice is if they got those little marks removed. Not a big fan of that, because that's obviously where the person was using a marker to mark where they were going to punch the holes through. So you have those marks that were existing, and you also notice that they have a mark right there. And again, I believe they use that just kind of to measure where the leather needs to line up, where they could start the stitching. So just a couple of marks during the manufacturing process that they just should have wiped clean before they sent these gloves off. Not a huge deal, doesn't affect the performance, but just the small details. A couple of holes right here on the inside of the thumb. Stitching pattern looks really good right here on the palm side. Liners is fantastic. I love the way the liner feels and looks. The glove is pretty well balanced. It's not a very top heavy glove. The big downside to this glove when it comes to the quality is going to be the weight. Now when I put these gloves on the scale, the left glove came at 13.8 ounces. I want to say the right glove is at 14.3. This glove is advertised as a 16 ounce glove, so they're drastically underweight for what they are, and they're also off in weight between the two gloves. So one is 13.8, one is 14.3, basically a half ounce off of each other, and then both gloves being quite a bit underweight. So they definitely need to sharpen that up when it comes to the weight of the glove to make sure that they're on point with that. Comfort wise, putting my hand into the glove, again, my biggest rave is going to be that liner. I love the way the liner feels, very nice and cooling, very nice and smooth, doesn't feel uncomfortable at all. It's basically like the opposite of like a rough canvas liner that you see in some of the Mexican made gloves that feel very rough, rugged. This has a much more of that luxurious sliding your hand into silk feel to it, which I definitely like. Wrist support on here feels great just because they put an emphasis on the padding around the wrist. Thumb positioning is good as well, nice and parallel. The seam right here around the thumb is definitely large enough to accommodate the fat part of my thumb. Tip doesn't collapse down on the tip of my thumb as well, even when I make a fist. The inside of the finger compartment, not too wide, not too narrow. It doesn't feel like my hand scoots around from side to side. You also have a little bit of stitching that you can feel right here around the finger compartment area. It would have been nice if they put like a little piece of like a felt pad or something like that, but it's not too annoying. Now, the padding on here is a layered foam padding, but it's very, very stiff. Almost reminds me of like molded foam. I wish the foam was a tad softer, but again, this is more of that protective style layered foam. It takes time to break in, so if you plan on getting these gloves, do keep in mind that you're gonna have to use this for a little bit to really soften up the foam over the knuckle area. The good news is that it is a layered foam, so unlike IMF, it definitely will soften up quicker and give you just that more broken in feel. And once they are, then these will be really, really awesome gloves, even more so than they are now. But wish they would use a little bit more of a softer foam. That way it wasn't so stiff. And you can see I can open and close my hands decently. They're not super easy to open and close. They're not extremely stiff like a molded foam glove, but there is definitely some resistance there when it comes to opening and closing your hand. But overall, a very comfortable glove. Protection performance wise, at first, again, with this padding being a little bit more on the stiffer side, definitely good for shock absorption. The more you use these, the more this will break in and flatten out that punch surface. So right now, it does have a pretty decent punch surface in terms of landing on your two front knuckles and kind of compressing the foam down. But the more you use it, it will soften up. And I'd say definitely more on the protective side of things. You feel like you get a very connected feel with these gloves. I'd I'd say that this is one of those gloves that would really excel in sparring, as a sparring glove. And obviously you can use it for all of your other training, hitting the bags, doing mitt work, which I think it'll be really good with too. But I feel like this is that type of glove that really once it softens up, would be like the perfect sparring glove, because you can obviously get this in lace up or Velcro if you're a Velcro person that you train on your own more frequently, you don't have somebody to lace up for you. But I feel like this is definitely one of those gloves that is really good for sparring, mainly because of the foam composition once it starts to soften up, and that wrist support. You know, I think in sparring, wrist support is kind of overlooked sometimes, but you know, when you spar, oftentimes you'll land a punch, sometimes at an awkward angle, and it may land not so much like you're trying to go for a body shot, and it may land like on their hip bone, and you kind of twist your hand a little bit, or when you're throwing a punch, maybe he'll block the shot. So sometimes the shots aren't going to land where you plan on placing them, and that's where you can sometimes get a hand injury or wrist injury. So I like the fact that you definitely get a good amount of wrist support with this glove, which will make it a really good sparring glove. These gloves retail cost-wise for $139, which I think is a fair price. I mean, all things considered, you're getting, obviously, this is a licensed Rocky Balboa or Rocky film product. So if you're a big fan of the Rocky franchise, then this is, you know, obviously this is going to be one of those gloves that you're going to be interested in. So aesthetically, it does represent that. I do like that. That is more of a limited kind of looking glove. You also get this nice American flag carrying case that you get, or carrying bag, should I say, that gloves come in. And Superare, they're notorious for doing that. They do a really good job of giving you these little extras when you order their products. The gloves aren't just sent to you in this plastic bag. They actually give you this nice drawstring American flag bag that you could put these gloves into. So the little details, and that goes along with other products from Superare. They do a really nice job of just licensing other brands that represent their products. Street Fighter, obviously the Rocky series. I think they've done some Bruce Lee stuff as well, Muhammad Ali. So I definitely like the fact that they have that collaboration aspect when it comes to their equipment. But again, at the price, I think, you know, the leather is really nice. The padding, once it breaks in, will be even better. Great wrist support. Quality is solid. They look really nice. Love the liner on these. So overall, a really good glove. I mean, there's not really a glaring flaw other than, okay, well, I guess for the weight, can't forget the weight, being underweight. So if they could perfect the weight, then that would be pretty much make this a great bang for the buck glove. Once they get that weight dialed in. And that's probably the one big red flag, would be just the weight with this glove. It makes me wonder, if these are 16 and the gloves were really underweight, how much are the 10-ounce gloves going to weigh? Are they going to be 8 ounces? So again, that's something, obviously, if I have a pair of those, I would know that, but that's probably just my biggest concern with this glove. So if you guys have any questions or comments, as usual, put them down below. I'll put the link in the description box where you can find these Superare X Rocky lace-up boxing gloves. I'll see you guys later. Peace.